Everybody, it's Chris and Lumen, and we got some interesting stuff to talk about here. Some new clues that have come up. There's a lot happening right now, and some of it has to do with the astrological stuff, which we said probably, I want to say is around the beginning of March, to expect things to maybe get a little crazier once we got around the 13th, 14th, because we got a blood moon later tonight. But there's more than that. And one of the biggest things that was coming to me today, and there's a lot of clues there. We're going to be talking about a symbol that a lot of people are familiar with, but nobody really knows what it means. They give you this kind of like, oh, it means this, pulling stuff out of their ass type of stuff. But, symbols are powerful, and they're usually there for a reason. And this symbol, I think, has something to do with the Brimstone pendants. And it has to do with, what is actually causing that heat, that burning sensation. Because remember, those pendants were her idea. Working with that stone was her idea. And she is the flip side of him. So once I started to see this, it made me wonder, because for me, this energy has been, building over the last couple of days, but it was especially strong this morning. And I wasn't even freaking wearing one of the Brimstone pendants. Matter of fact, I made another pendant today, just trying to cool it down a little bit. I think it might actually activate something. And it also ties back to something that is an I Pet Goat too. One of the things in that video that you might have just assumed was, decorative, and maybe it wasn't. So if you want to know more, don't go away.
I light the way. I am the light, the boundless flame, endless, formless, ever the same. I am the breath, the motionless sea, all that was and will ever be.
So when it comes to the Brimstone pendants, yeah, they do what we said they do. But I think once they do that, they keep doing more. Now, this is an alchemical thing too. The three primary parts in I forget what the actual words are, but the three main things in alchemy are sulfur, mercury, and salt. And in this case, sulfur represents the fire masculine principle, and mercury represents the feminine principle. Okay, that is also mirrored by Christ and Sophia, being flip sides of the same coin. So the symbol that I'm talking about that came to mind is the Sacred Heart symbol, which, I got one right here on the old Jesus candle, which the Sacred Heart is generally a heart wrapped with a crown of thorns with fire coming out the top of it. And usually there's a cross up there too. So you've got the heart being the center and the seat of the soul. You've got the crown of thorns, which represents, the pain and suffering that is associated with this material realm. You got the fire, and then you've got the cross, which has to do with resurrection. So now we got flames and hearts again. Now let's go back. I went ahead and clipped out, and we won't watch the whole thing, but I went ahead and clipped out the Christ segments of I Pet Goat 2. So let's take a look at those. Okay, so in the iPet Goat 2 clips, he's going through the underworld. He's kind of dreaming, and you see a lot of fire element. Okay, first of all, he's got the sacred heart on his. He's got the sacred heart on his chest. Then he blows fire. Then he becomes fire. Then he's got fire burning at his feet. Then at one point, all the fish come up and jump in the boat as he's heading out toward the end. Now, the fish thing, that could mean a lot of different stuff. It could mean something simple, fisher of men and all that stuff. But also, this time frame is very Pisces centric. There's a lot of stuff going on in Pisces. There's a whole bunch of stuff over the next couple of days in astrology, but I don't understand it all, so I'm leaving that out of this. Oh, the one thing I do know is after we had the blood moon, in the next, I want to say it was Saturday morning, my astrologer friend said Mercury goes retrograde, so you got that in there too. Yeah, Mercury's a big alchemical thing as well. But everything in iPet Goat 2 clearly means something, and here we've got the Christ figure with the heart and the fire as a main central theme of going through this period. And what do we got going on here? All of a sudden, we start working with the Christ energy instead of just the Sophia energy. And we start working with the sulfur, the masculine fire principle stone. And she has me integrate it with an Aegis, first and foremost, we integrate it with an Aegis style pendant, which what does an Aegis style pendant do? It pulls out, well, it does a lot of things, but it pulls out a lot of negative energy. Okay, that's going to be associated with your crown of thorns. So you got the crown of thorns, you got the fire, and the pendant rests over the heart. And the one thing pretty much everybody that I've at least heard from so far that has received the Brimstone pendants, they all agree it's friggin' hot. It's hot. Now, I've got a lot more of this energy, so I probably feel it a lot more. And what I'm starting to notice is I don't need to wear the pendant anymore to feel it. It's like it's always there. Now, this pendant I made today calms it down a little bit. It's the flip side principle. It's got like moonstone, feminine stones in it, and then at least half the content is green fluorite, which green fluorite brings order to chaos. It's good for the heart. It's a clearing thing. It just kind of calms it down a little bit, because now it has nothing to do with any kind of past traumas or past issues or anything like that. It's just on fire. It's just on freaking fire. And the symbology of iPet Goat 2 is representing like the chosen people going through a transformation and basically escaping the matrix, the suffering, going into the light. So all those elements are suddenly in iPet Goat 2 when all sorts of other iPet Goat 2 stuff is going on as well. Now, the other thing that the blood moon, like I was getting big nudges about that. I'm going to stay up and see that tonight. But, that's always been a big symbol as well. The moon turns to blood and, blah, blah, blah. But I intuitively, I was feeling like it was this, things lining up, like the blood moon and astrological stuff, like was contributing to the burning, the heart fire, the sacred heart fire. And we've been talking about all the other stuff that she's been showing me, like what's brimstone do? What's this holy fire do? It's a purification that you have to do before you get out. But I hadn't put together like any of the sacred heart stuff before today. And all of a sudden it was just popping into my head. And it's like, within that symbol, all the elements are there as well. And I feel like because I can feel my heart chakra now, it's always hot. even if I'm not wearing the pendant. It feels like something has been activated. Like, I don't know. All I'm doing is reporting what I'm seeing. I'm not drawing conclusions to it. I'm not making predictions to it. But she kind of leads you ahead of time without fully telling you where you're going. That's just her stock and trade. That's the way it's always been. She doesn't tell you where you're going. But I would think that if that was the case and she wanted that kind of activation to happen, that would be why so many people ordered those pendants. Like, it was a lot. It was like, not of all the other different types of pendants that I've made before, like, I hadn't seen quite a run as I had on these. So I'm still seeing things are changing. I'm trying to piece it together without overthinking it, because if you overthink it, you'll get in trouble. If you let it come to you, you'll understand more. But, you know, blood moon, the sulfur pendants, the burning heart chakra, the sacred heart symbol, the imagery in IPET Goat 2, it's all kind of congealing together into this time frame in which we said we were in another watch period, so to speak, for something to happen. And other people are picking up on it as well. So we've covered a lot of stuff. We don't need to just keep going over and over and over again. But yeah, I do think that they're, based on what I've seen in the last, 12, 24 hours, it's like, because the heart chakra is doing it while I'm not wearing the pendant, that tells me like the pendants were almost like the match that, started the fire. And now it doesn't need the match anymore. First it burns all the crap out of you, and then it's just, souls and fire, and like, something's happening. I don't know what it is. Because anytime I've felt burning type heart stuff before, it's always been trauma based. But now it's like, it feels like that's all gone, but it's still on fire. So keep me posted, those of you that have that stuff. I'm going to keep making them. But yeah, it does get pretty freaking intense. And you might start to notice, once you've worked through all the stuff, it's like, there's nothing there. There's nothing in my head. There's nothing saying like, this is associated with this past thing, or this is associated with that past thing. No, that's all gone, but it's still hot. It's changed something. And seeing all that stuff in IPET Goat 2 makes you wonder. So we'll go ahead. Don't want to over talk this. I'm trying to make the video shorter, but I will put the whole video here at the end of this, so we can refer to it again and see what other kind of clues we might notice. Because it's one of those things we always get pulled back to. Okay, so that's all we got for right now. If you want to get in touch with us, get any of this stuff, you can reach through the Etsy store, clumencreations.etsy.com. Check out her music, which she started up a whole nother, she hasn't done any more yet, but she started a whole nother album having to do with the fire element. You can get us on SoundCloud. All the links in the description box below, or just type in at the music of Lumen into the YouTube search bar, and you'll find her channel. But other than that, stick around. We'll watch IPET Goat 2 one more time. Chris and Lumen. See you next time.
whisper calls me, pulls me there. No more running, no more fear. I step into the flame sincere. Let it burn what isn't true. Let it cleanse and make me new. Through the heat, through the trial, I will walk these coals and smile. Holy fire, take my name. Burn the hollow, leave the flame. I am rising, pure and strong. Every shadow gone, 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 gone. Gold is tested, hearts are tried. Every tear is sanctified. What was lost will not remain. Ashes fall, but I remain. Let it burn what isn't true. Let it cleanse and make me new. Through the heat, through the trial, I will walk these coals and smile. Holy fire, take my name. Burn the hollow, leave the flame. I am rising, pure and strong. Every shadow gone, gone, gone. Through the furnace I'm set free, not consumed but changed in me. Like the gold that meets the